Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Megan Gallagher, the Deputy Leader of the Scottish Tories, has taken great delight in pointing out to the SNP, in fact to two in particular, that when they complain, the SNP, complain about a swimming pool in a Labour council being closed, that they ought to look closer to home. The swimming pool in question was closed because of lack of funding. The council were forced to spend the money elsewhere. They had no options because of the cuts made by central government to the local authorities. And so this swimming pool has been closed. And the two in particular, these two that are complaining, Anam Kazir and Neil Gray, are pointing out that this is a terrible indictment on this Labour council, that they're taking away a very important public amenity. Well, Megan Gallagher, of course, has got on her high horse and said, you do know, that Westminster gave Scotland £6 million specifically earmarked to keep swimming pools open. And was this money handed to those local authorities? Well, no, of course it wasn't. It was used elsewhere. And so she's now asking these two who wrote this letter, sort of saying, you've got to keep this pool open, to please tell people where the money has gone, this £6 million, what they've done with it, and do they intend to hand it over to the councils to open the pools and keep them open? Answer came there none. We'll take a very quick look at this, see what's going on, and see why the utter hypocrisy, yet again, of the SNP is denying ordinary people access to some important amenities. Here goes. I mean, you can hardly moan about a council cutting a service when you've cut the money from the council, even though you were given specific money from someone else to give to that council. It's a bit hypocritical. But then these people are hypocrites and fools. And at least, I will give the two of them, one didn't have to get daddy to pay for a seat. SNP Minister and MP in hypocrisy row after moaning about council closing leisure centres. Neil Gray and Anam Kazir have been asked to account for UK funding following a statement of complaint about Labour cuts in North Lanarkshire. Because of course there are. Of course there are. One of them managed to get himself into Parliament, and one, well, we don't know, do we? We don't know how the other one managed to get a seat somehow. A Tory MSP has called out the SNP's Neil Gray after he intervened to call for cuts to a local swimming pool to be stopped. Mr Gray, the Cabinet Secretary for Wellbeing, Economy, Fair Work and Energy, a long title, and yet strangely, he's not responsible for energy. And this is true. This is a really weird way of doing it. Anyway, he is a key ally of Humza Yousaf. A lickspittle and kiss arse is what he actually is. He co-signed a letter with fellow SNP politician Anam Kazir, and the duo branded cuts to the local John Smith Pool and Shots Leisure Centre as unacceptable. Well, then hand over the money. They said it's shocking and unforgivable to sell out local communities that could lose facilities pending an upcoming budget vote at North Lanarkshire Council. However, and here's where we get into the interesting bit, of course, Tory Deputy Leader Megan Gallagher weighed in on the letter, asking the pair to explain what happened to £6 million worth of funding from the UK government. Chancellor Jeremy Hunt provided extra money for swimming pools in the UK budget, after spending was boosted in England and Wales. But the SNP administration has not sought to use this money specifically for that purpose. See, here's some money, spend it on swimming pools. Yeah, promise we will, what are we spending it on? Independence. Let's do something for independence. Boom. Let's print some documents. Up to this point, the Scottish Government has said it is up to local authorities to manage their own budgets and to allocate the total financial resources available to them, including on leisure facilities. Now, this is an argument I would suggest that Westminster does not hand the Scottish Government money for things like this. It hands the money directly to the councils on the understanding that it must be spent on what it is intended to be spent on. Or better still, the local councils get the contracts to do the work and are given a credit note for that. So no actual cash is being given. They hand that credit note for the work to the company that's undertaking this, and the money comes directly from the UK government. How's that work? That would mean that the work is actually done. that the things are actually created and so forth. And it means that the SNP can't take that money and spend it on whatever this week's wanky spend of the week happens to be. But the SNP won't like that because they need to get all that lovely cash into their pockets. In the statement, Mr Gray and Ms Kazia, the local MP, said the Labour cuts should be stopped and said the facilities were crucial to the mental health and well-being of users. Then hand over your money. Anyway, Megan Gallagher, this is the letter from Megan Gallagher. I don't also want to see leisure facilities close. This is the Twitter. I am not calling it X. This is Twitter, she said. But the Scott Gov must be upfront. Where has the extra £6 million from the UK Gov gone? This money was for swimming pools, yet it hasn't been accounted for. During our Save Our Pools debate, the Minister couldn't answer. Why not? And so it says here from Neil Gray, statement from at Annam SNP and I on proposals from Labour-controlled North Lanarkshire Council to close dozens of leisure centres. And it's this letter, which you can go and look if you want. It's not really interesting. It's just him moaning about the pool being closed. But now let's say then Megan Gallagher responds with that, where's the money? You were given the money to keep this open. What have you done with it? Spent it elsewhere. Miss Gallagher responded saying, what we've just covered, blah, blah, blah. Speaking to the Scottish Express, she said, if these closures go ahead, it will be a huge blow to parents, children and local communities who rely on these pools. Also, school children who get taught to swim in school. I mean, it's very important. It is a life-saving skill, learning to swim. The UK government gave the SNP government vital funding that would have stopped these closures, yet the SNP has failed to deliver the funding to those who need it most. The SNP government must explain where this money has gone, and our swimming pools don't deserve to close because of the SNP's financial mismanagement. And of course, that is basically what it is. It is unacceptable for the SNP to effectively purloin this money, take it from where it's supposed to be, take it from the people who need it most, and then spend it where they think it's fit to be spent. It wasn't given to the SNP to spend as they see fit. It was given specifically for swimming pools. And so for these two clowns to sit there and complain that a Labour councillor's cut a pool is beyond a joke. But then he, the lick spittler, gets his job because he's a kiss ass, and her, who potentially, got to be careful to say, who is potentially only in place because of the hard work and diligence in handing out small envelopes to people, possibly, allegedly, is only there. She's incapable. She's quite incapable. She's not bright. She's not clever. She doesn't understand what she's doing, and she certainly shouldn't be in power if it turns out that the accusations are true, and indeed she should be in prison for it. Maybe, allegedly, if it's true, which I'm not saying it is. Covering myself. Anyway, gonna round up and come up. They're a right pair, aren't they? Pair of tits. I mean, sitting there going, oh, you're closing the swimming pool because you haven't got any money. Look, that's mismanagement. Well, how about you give us the money that we were told we were getting? Oh no, we spent it on crap over there. And they talk about the council's mismanagement. But it's not just this, is it? It's everything. It's everything with the SNP. Honestly, if they swallowed a nail, they'd shit a corkscrew. They really would. They are so twisted and crooked. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, please hit that subscribe button. Do definitely hit the subscribe button. Press the like button for sure. And tell everybody that it's a great channel. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and go swimming. Bye. And teach your kids. Teach your kids to swim.